Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
I sold them all. I pawned off a couple of them. I'm gonna get in Atlantica.
But who cares? No big deal.
They never say that in the movie, that the kingdom is Atlantica, do they?
They don't?
I don't think so.
Is that the kingdom's name?
Atlantica, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just like how they don't say the kingdom's name in Tangled, but you figure out through the Tangled expanded universe that it's
right.
Corona.
The comic book and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a TV show.
Oh. Is it
But,
good?
yeah. It's on Disney Plus. Me and my wife watched it. We loved it.
Yeah? Okay,
It's
I'll have
really
to check
good.
it out.
It's before they get married. It's before that short. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah, you gotta study up on the lore.
Yeah, I gotta go deep. I gotta go deep in that Rapunzel lore.
Mm-hmm. You gotta get all the extra pieces of lore.
So what are we
this
gonna... Yeah,
This is Foolish Mortals, episode 3.
let's do it. What are we talking about tonight?
Oh, a couple of things. Tonight we're gonna be diving deep into overseas. We are gonna be hopping across the Atlantic today. Now I hope you're ready, because we're not gonna be talking about just one mansion. We're gonna be talking about 2 mansions.
Oh,
2 and a
nice.
half if you count another one later on down.
So we're gonna reverse Titanic our ways over to the UK, over to Europe.
We're starting in Europe,
Right.
So that's going to be where we start. More specifically, in 1992. All right.
Okay.
Euro Disneyland opened under the watchful, cracking voice of Michael Eisner.
Euro Disneyland.
Have you seen that clip?
Yeah.
Disneyland, Who Bear? Oh, it's great. It's one of the best opening ceremonies I think Disney's ever done.
Yeah.
So it has all the lands Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom are famous for. It's got Fantasyland, Adventureland, kind of Tomorrowland. It has Discoveryland, which is a completely separate podcast, and Frontierland. Although Disney took a more creative storytelling approach to this version of the Wild West, more storytelling than you would see in the American parks.
Right.
And it feels like it could have been a precursor to Galaxy's Edge with this overarching story contained within this whole land.
Yeah,
all the rides, yeah.
It's that Thunder Mesa kind of vibe, right?
Right, yeah, the town is Thunder Mesa. I actually have the story here, so if we want to get some mood lighting going.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do it.
We want to get some campfire crackling in the background.
I've got a clapper, don't worry. We need to bring the clapper back, guys.
Wow, that worked wonders, dude. Wow.
I guess like the modern day clapper is just Alexa, right?
Alexa. That's still the command to turn the lights off.
I'm sure you can program an Alexa. That's got to be like, are there apps for Alexas? I don't have one, so I don't know.
There should be. That's our $1 million idea right there, is a modern Alexa clapper.
Right.
So this version of Frontierland would tell the cohesive story of Thunder Mesa. According to the folklore of the local Native American tribes which inhabited Thunder Mesa, it was the roost of the legendary Thunderbird, which guarded the gold within Big Thunder Mountain from anyone who dared to take it, creating earthquakes with the flaps of its powerful wings. So this must have been a really big bird.
Wow.
Bigger than Big Bird, probably, I would even say.
Right. And this is, and this is, the mansion's adjacent, it's kind of like on the edge of this land, right? So the mansion lore kind of ties into it a little bit.
Right. So I was watching a Tony Baxter video earlier of him going through Frontierland, and it was interesting because I never saw it before, but the way Disneyland is set up with New Orleans Square along the banks, and then out in the middle, there you have Tom Sawyer Island. Just switch New Orleans Square to Frontierland and switch Tom Sawyer's Island out for Big Thunder Mountain. And it's essentially set up the exact same way as in Disney.
Oh, wow.
The mansion's in the same spot. So, yeah, you're walking along the banks of the whatever rivers of America this would be in Paris. You get around to 1840, the Thunderbird is probably
Rivers of
less
Paris.
the rivers of Paris. We have all the Paris rivers. We have the Seine, the other one.
The Zune. Oh, no, that was Microsoft.
The Zune. Yeah. So 1840, the European settlers arrive in the area, searching the lands for precious minerals and other riches. And their search, of course, would soon prove successful because, as we all know, Big Thunder Mountain has a lot of gold in there. And if there's anything these people want, it's gold.
Right. It's also got magic birds, though.
See, they mention the magic bird in the beginning, but you don't hear from him until later on in the story.
Oh, some light teasing, some like expositional foreshadowing.
He comes into play for a certain attraction later on.
Does he?
So he does. The Thunderbird is he's sort of the one pulling all the strings of a certain haunted house attraction, Dark Ride.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. So where was I? Red Rocks of Big Thunder Mountain. As soon as the word got out, more and more settlers steamed into the area, bringing all their wagons and their families, trying to get gold out of the mountain as soon as someone struck the gold vein in the mountain, transforming the serene wilderness into a lively and steadily growing gold rush town.
Mm.
And that is the beginning of Thunder Mesa, as we know it at Disneyland Paris.
This legend doesn't extend to the other Thunder Mesa rides, does it? It's just the Paris one?
I think this is a separate continuity because
then like the rainbow canyons and stuff.
Right, you're catching on. So you got Rainbow Ridge at Disneyland is the mining town, and then it's Tumbleweed at Walt Disney World. 2 different towns. Did you know that?
Look at my response. Do you think that this is the response of a man who knew that?
We're switching gears here from a Haunted Mansion podcast to a Big Thunder Mountain podcast.
Foolish Miners.
Foolish Miners. Spelled with an E.
Right.
Over 18.
The first episode was Foolish Mortals. The last one was Foolish Peg Legs. And this one's Foolish Miners.
Yeah. So... you're totally right. We need to dress up for the next one.
You know what, though? What I like about this is what it really does is show that Imagineers are really interested in storytelling in with lands that, like every land has a story that most people are just goes right over their heads. But that foundation is there to build upon at any time for any of the things that they want to do, which the mansion is a great example of that kind of juxtaposition of all those different lores.
Right. I think it started with New Orleans Square back in the 60s. And I think they definitely took it up a notch with Frontierland and then eventually in Paris.
Right.
Everything's really connected. And then I think the next logical step of that would be C from Tokyo. And then eventually you get to Galaxy's Edge where everything is just a part of a story.
Interesting how you skipped right over Pandora.
You know what? I don't think about Disney World too often. I'm looking at a map of Disney World right now. But yes, you're right. I did skip over Pandora. I apologize.
And is not Navi Jungle Cruise the haunted mansion of Animal Kingdom?
I will die on this hill that Navi River Journey is the second best attraction at Disney's Animal Kingdom, right behind Expedition Everest.
You know what?
What do you think of those words?
You know what? I don't have a problem with the word you're saying. Is what I was going to say, because you're not wrong. You're not wrong because it's a fun unique little gem. I don't hate it.
If it was 3 minutes longer, it'd be the best ride.
Right. Honest, 100%. 100%. Yeah, if it was 3 minutes longer, and if the budget, if it wasn't a ride that was dependent on whatever was left off of the budget on the other ride, like if we were gonna do like a full scale Navi dark ride haunted mansion kind of thing, fully commit, like an 11-minute attraction or something like Pirates.
Put a couple drops in there for the kids.
You know what? I'm not opposed with just taking the Pirates in Walt Disney World and completely turning it into the Navi River ride.
It would make sense. It's an Adventureland. You're in a thick, dense jungle anyway.
Right. I think that we're onto something.
All right, Disney, give us a call. We're here. We'll do it for free.
Yellow Shoes, call us up.
Yeah, Yellow Shoes. I've never heard them referred to that before.
Disney's marketing company is called Yellow Shoes.
Oh.
They're
marketing. You're talking about the mouse himself. Gotcha.
No, this is what you think I call Mickey?
That's all yellow
Every
shoes
time I
on.
meet him. Hey, what's up, yellow shoes?
Well, now it's going to be that from now on. Whenever I see Disney, I'm like,
That's what he is now,
yellow
though.
shoes.
Yeah, 100%. He's not Mickey anymore in this podcast. He's got
That's a
yellow
Foolish
shoes.
Morals exclusive too.
Yep.
None of you guys, you can't get that from watching our normal channels.
Nope.
Now you'll understand yellow shoes references. So we're talking about Thunder Mesa.
Right, and the connection
is a gold rush town. The founder of the Thunder Mesa. Oh, I wanted to talk about Rainbow Ridge and Tumbleweed, but that's getting off on a whole other tangent.
There's plenty of time for that later.
Yeah. So the founder of the Thunder Mesa Mining Company, the guy who first struck gold in Big Thunder Mountain, is a man by the name of Henry Ravenswood. Try saying that name 10 times fast. First of all, but
I don't even remember his first name. Henry.
Right. Henry Ravenswood. So he got rich, and he decided,
I'm an old man.
Henry Ravenswood. Stantler and Waldorf would be like chanting his name from the rafters.
Oh,
a
Muppets Haunted Mansion movie.
You see, I have some strong words about Haunted Mansion Holiday coming up in the next episode, but a Muppets Haunted Mansion Christmas Carol, that'd be a completely different story.
Right. I think that's what the next Muppet movie needs to be. Have we had a spooky Muppets movie? No.
Disney said they're making a new Haunted Mansion movie, and they didn't specifically say that it wouldn't include the Muppets. So I think there's a chance
Chris Evans just signed on for a couple more pictures.
Starring Chris Evans as Fozzie the Bear.
I was going more along the lines of like Chris Evans is like a Gracie,
I was thinking that too, like a ghost host, where he's just talk about how he could do this all day as he's letting you into the changing portrait hallway.
Because we already paid the money to like make him look old, so we just pulled that CD out of the drive, and put it in the computer.
And then the right ends with him saying "to infinity and beyond," and then you show a quick little teaser.
I forgot he's Buzz Lightyear now.
He's Buzz now.
Oh, is Chris Pine is Chris Evans the new Chris Pratt? We're just gonna be in everything.
He said, "I'm done being in all your Marvel movies, but I'll be in everything else you want me to do."
Right. Let's do it.
Henry Ravenswood. So he was growing richer and richer over the mining of the gold in the mountain, and decided to construct a grand manor on the hill overlooking the sprawling town. Now, the manor, I should say, in its heyday, was a 4-story manor painted in white with a red gable roof, and the estate was surrounded, and this is the cue for the ride, by these really, what used to be well-maintained gardens. As well as marble statues throughout the gardens and a family cemetery on the banks of the river, because of course. Question, though, about the timeline here. So, beautiful gardens, huge house, made by this corrupt gold magnate. You lost me at the family cemetery, because it says it's a family cemetery, right?
Yeah.
So he had just moved to this town, struck gold, built the house, and he has a family cemetery already set up for building the house. So is he moving his dead relatives out to bury them in his cemetery?
Or he decided to start killing his relatives as soon as the construction was finished.
As the story progresses, I think we would find that that's not too out of character for Henry Ravenswood.
Well, Imagineering, Yellow Shoes, give me a call.
Go Yellow Shoes, give me a call. I love this. So, we talked about the queue line. So you would wind through what used to be well-maintained, beautiful gardens that are now overgrown for the queue. Henry would grow older, have a wife, settle down, and have a daughter named Melanie Ravenswood. A little bit easier to say, I think.
Yeah.
But Henry was a very protective father. He wouldn't let her leave the mansion grounds. She'd just roam the gardens, and But at some point, every little girl's got to grow up, and she started bringing some boys home to Dad, and Dad did not appreciate this.
Ooh.
He hated every boy she brought home, and one day she brought home a railroad conductor who promised, because this was a girl. This is essentially, hey, we were talking about Tangled earlier. This is a Rapunzel story. This girl's been trapped in her house her whole life, and she gets engaged to this railroad conductor who plans to whisk her off to the, San Francisco, somewhere, the Hollywood, get famous, that sort of thing.
Right.
And Henry was not having any of this.
No.
Henry did not want her moving.
No way! You're
anywhere.
Some old miner man, rich, just built a massive estate to essentially lock up his relatives and bury them systematically. He's not going to let his daughter go to Hollywood. He has plans to bury her soon.
You already have your plot ready.
Yeah, right?
He's telling this to his 6-year-old daughter. That's where you're going to go one day.
Oh my gosh.
Is that dark? We'll continue on. By the way, we were just talking about Chris Evans, the railroad conductor she was going to marry. His name was Jake Evans, so perhaps there's some relation there.
Muppets Haunted Mansion movie starring Chris Evans.
We're tying this. The strings are coming together.
It's one piece at a time, baby. The Muppets are in Liberty Square, so they're just around the corner.
They're right there. You're right.
Yep.
All it would take is a nicely worded letter to Disney, and I think they could move them down the street a little bit.
Right, or a petition.
Yeah, because that went so well with Mr. Toad, right? He did end up getting a tombstone. So.
Right, and he's in the ride a few times.
He is, and Winnie the Pooh. So, if you want to sign our petition, put the Muppets in the Haunted Mansion, or at least give Kermit the Frog a tombstone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I love it.
Realize Kermit the Frog.
I would love to see little Muppet versions of all the ghosts, though, like the Hatbox Ghost.
Super cool. Yeah.
And the Hitchhiking Ghost and stuff. I'd be on board with that.
Who would you cast as the Hitchhiking Ghosts? What 3 Muppets?
Well, that's got to be Fozzie, Gonzo, and Kermit, right? It's
right.
got to be
that's
their
what I was
story.
thinking too.
It's got to be their story, and Miss Piggy is Constance, right?
Right. I'd imagine Miss Piggy would be Constance or the opera singer at the end. Probably Constance because it's more of a starring role.
Yeah, and also the aggression towards men would play out pretty nicely, I think.
Instead of an axe, she just karate chops you as you.
Oh yeah. She beheads you with her little ham fists.
Yeah.
Like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
And then you're riding through the ballroom, and you have Stantler and Waldorf up there to the side, cracking jokes.
Well, they're the pistols, the dueling pistol ghosts.
Yes, it's just their 2 paintings.
And Ralph is the organist, right?
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Right,
that's perfect.
That makes sense.
Oh, I can.
And
see
Bunsen and Beaker are they're the ones haunting the floating candelabra, but through magnetic science.
Yeah, it's Muppet Labs.
It's Muppet science haunting.
Muppet spiritualism. Who would be Madame Leota?
Oh,
because that would be another good Piggy role, but I don't know.
No, that's gonna be Janice.
Janice.
Hey, man, I can see the future. Okay.
When she asked, I got one more thing to add to that. When she asks for them to rap on a table, it's got to be Animal rapping on the table with his drumsticks, right? It's time to respond.
Maybe Animal's Madame Leota. Maybe Animal's Madame Leota.
I would love to hear an animalized version of her speech, her lines in the Haunted Mansion.
Just a lot of screaming, I imagine.
Remove all the adjectives and pronouns.
Or the Swedish Chef would be a great Madame Leota.
Yeah, that's true. I think, I'm trying to think of, we could go on for this for hours. We're talking about Phantom Manor.
We'll do a whole Muppet special, a Christmas special about Haunted Mansion one day.
We should. Oh, man. So, the year
the guy was going to take away his daughter. And
right.
He's like, you don't take my daughter.
You're not taking my daughter.
I'm going to bury her.
And so, as foretold by the Native Americans who used to live on the land, the Thunderbird by the flapping of his wings could cause an earthquake, and after the complete depletion of the gold vein in Big Thunder Mountain, as luck would have it, an earthquake struck Thunder Mesa, killing Henry Ravenswood and dropping half of the town into what is now known as Phantom Canyon. Spooky, because there's just, I guess, a bunch of dead people in there, and you don't want to go into Phantom Canyon.
Mr. Ravenscroft hollowed out the ground to the point where he made a new Grand Canyon of Doom.
His own Grand Canyon, yes.
Right, his own little personal Doom Canyon. And that's incredible. That's incredible. And so okay, sorry, keep going. I'm hooked.
So this was the Thunderbirds' doing, was destroying the town because they had depleted the gold vein.
Don't mess with a Thunderbird, bro. We've all played Pokemon.
Right? But as weddings go, you bury your dad one day, you get married on the next day, right? Mm-hmm. Melanie and her fiance were just fine. And they were going through with the wedding. They were getting ready. They were going to get married, and she was going to be out of there. But just like as the days leading up to the wedding, you would be able to see shadows out of the corner of your eye, and weird people up in the windows of the mansion. It was said to be the Phantom, or Henry Ravenswood's, something like that, restless spirit. He had returned from the dead in order to keep Melanie from getting married.
Oh, okay. So the lore here is that the Phantom is HRW.
That's the running theory.
I see. Okay.
So, the day of the wedding, Melanie's ready. She's standing at the altar, and her husband, Chris Evans, doesn't show up. He doesn't make it to the altar.
Chris.
He's too busy recording lines for his Buzz Lightyear spinoff. Melanie begins endlessly searching for him, never to be seen again, wandering the halls of Ravenswood Manor. She's just wandering the halls for years and years. And now, Ravenswood Manor is now known by the locals as being that spooky street, that spooky house at the end of the street.
Right, where a clown lives.
Every town has. Yeah. Exactly. And so, legend has it, if you're walking by on cold or rainy nights, you can hear Melanie singing, and you can see her walking around the house, followed closely behind by the Phantom.
You know what we don't? You know what's so funny is we make fun of California Adventure for being a California theme park in California. What we ended up doing was making an American ghost town themed park in France.
In Paris, France.
In Paris, France. We rebuilt the mountains of America in Paris for reasons I know not. We just made like a little mini Swiss Alps or something, and like had it be something like, I'm sure they were mine in the Alps.
So here's the thing, again, quoting Tony Baxter, he says that with the haunted mansions in America, they're gothic and overgrown and grand, but that's what it's like down the street from your house if you're living in Paris,
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Yeah.
Gothic cemetery. So they went all in on the American West. They wanted to make it bone dry and like something you'd see out of a Clint Eastwood movie.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess Disney parks are really about serving up that kind of Americana in a truly unique way.
Right. It's even weird in parks that not like Shanghai, for instance, doesn't have a Main Street in the traditional fashion. It's more of a Toontownized version of Main Street.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like Toontown and Main Street had a baby. But it's still very much like Americana.
Like my brain is currently really busy trying to think what that baby's name is. Toon Street?
Toon Street. That's exactly what I was going to say. Main Town or Toon Street?
Main Town's not good, but Toon Street...
No, Toon Street works.
Toontown sounds good, but I think that's just what it was called to begin with.
It's the two T's right after each other. It makes it roll off the tongue. Toon Street, not as good, but still pretty good.
Toontown, USA.
Right. Toontown, USA? Maybe. I was... Toon Street, USA.
Toon Street. Well, that sounds like you're going to whistle.
Yeah. Toon Street.
I mean, like, you'd have to have like the word "tune" written out in a lot of places, so people got the idea. They're like, it's like no whistling, just animation.
Have cast members standing as you're coming in. They say you're on Toon Street, no whistling.
Right, and like treat this place like you would a theater. Don't whistle.
Yeah, Yeah, don't whistle.
It's superstitious to whistle in a theater.
Don't yell fire either.
Well, I think that's just, good common practice, just not to do
I do that on Main Street all the time. So
Yell fire?
I've never gotten kicked out.
Well, you know what? When those Dapper Dans are really cranking, it is fire.
That's
it's
true.
Lit. It's lit. It's
They're
lit.
singing and I'm screaming, fire! There's a fire! Everyone run! And no one's listening to me.
This tune on Toon Street is lit. Fire!
She was lit fire on Toon Street.
If anybody, for the super hard fans who rewatch this episode later, they're gonna be able to watch our brain slowly put together our tired brain slowly put these things together.
Oh, you're along for the ride, but when you watch this afterward, you just say how are they getting the Yellow Shoes lighting a fire on Toon Street?
Yep, Yellow Shoes, give us a call. We've got some really great new street names for you.
This is a podcast about the Haunted Mansion.
Listen, what people don't seem to understand is if we only talk about the Haunted Mansion, we're going to be done in about 7 episodes. So we have got to stress.
We have to. We're drawing it out. We're gonna go for at least 3 seasons and a movie.
I cannot wait for our movie.
That's gonna be good.
We got to get to play us.
Chris Evans for sure is one of us.
Yeah, and Chris Pratt, I think.
Chris Pratt. So I can't grow a beard. So probably, I don't know.
But yeah, but a good clean shaven,
Chris, that's true.
You know what though? Maybe you might need a Chris Pine.
Speaking of Americana, though, nothing says Americana like a good clean shaven Chris Evans.
You know what? That's true. That we just need to put him on the $20 bill.
It's like he's going to come into town and make your grandma an apple pie, sit down with you for Thanksgiving, and just talk about the economy, right. But in a very neutral way.
Okay, wait. So the Thunderbird killed the old man, and he turned into a phantom, and this lady, and then his daughter got married.
His daughter almost got married.
Right? But then the dude, and then she was like, "Ah."
Yeah, she started singing.
Is that the entire lore? Is that like the entire? The story.
That's the story up until when we get there, because in the Disney attractions, we're a participating character. We're a character in the story. So
right.
We get there and we experience. That's sort of like Act 1. Act 2 is what we experience while riding the ride.
Right. Is that how your brain works?
Is that how my brain works?
Like when you go on a ride, do you think I'm in the story?
Do you not? Do you think you're a passive observer? I can see that for most rides. For lots of rides, I could see you being a passive observer. But for the big ones, you're part, because Flight of Passage, you're going into the Avatar program, you're riding a Banshee.
Right, dinosaur, you're rescuing a dinosaur.
Right. From Pirates of the Caribbean, this one's a bit more of a stretch. You are on a pirate ship, sailing through these caves and into this town and taking part in the siege of whatever the town's called.
I guess when I'm riding Haunted Mansion, I'm imagining it as one big loop.
Right.
Like my brain is actively locked into the fact that it's just a big loop, and I'm tuning into the parts I enjoy, and I'm tweeting about the parts I enjoy during the parts I don't enjoy. Because I can't live in the moment, because I'm a goddamn millennial.
I'm making sure to be I'm live streaming while I'm writing. I'm telling people to smash the like button as we're going through the graveyard.
Speaking of smash the like buttons, guys, if you're this far in, smash that like button, bro.
Smash it. Hit the bell. For notifications. Those will be those are the true foolish mortals.
Oh my god.
They'll be the Yellow Shoes.
Yeah. Be like our buddy Yellow Shoes. Be a true mort hole and ring that bell.
Ring the bell. Set notifications to on.
Yeah.
But no, you are, and I would say Haunted Mansion. The ride begins when you enter New Orleans Square. You're walking through. You are a character in this world. You're walking through New Orleans Square. You stumble upon this old mansion. It's either rainy and dark outside. Sometimes it can be, and you're looking to get inside, or you're just drawn inside by whatever, maybe just the look of the mansion, and you are being given a tour by the ghost host of the mansion, your character in the mansion. You're as much of a character as in the Haunted Mansion as Constance Hatchaway or the Hatbox Ghost.
Right. Okay. Right.
So yeah, it's just a very interesting way to look at it. So for the Phantom, go ahead.
So where does the mansion? Because we currently have had now 2 mansions that look different on the outside, but had a lot of the same goo on the inside. How much of the original mansion goo is still inside this mansion? Like where does it fall apart? How does it hold together?
So it's very much. Are you talking about like inspirations for like the physical scenes?
I could just talk about like are there the inverted busts? Is there that guy in a coffin trying to escape? Is there a Madame Leota? Like take me through. Talk to me about it.
Interesting you talk about Madame Leota. The Madame Leota room is 99% the exact same as it is in the States. It's just Madame Leota in her parlor, and every other line she speaks it in French.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's Madame Leota. Yeah, every other sentence I say in French. If you're hearing me speak in English, that just means you're really good at French.
Oh, I was just going to say that like when I'm recording, I stop contractually, but...
Nope, not me. I'm multilingual.
You know what? If there was a YouTuber friend I had that could speak French, I would assume it'd be you.
You know what they say?
What did you just say to me? What did you just call me? What did you just call me in French?
Omelet with cheese, man.
Oh, okay.
Omelet with cheese. There are lots of different scenes. Most recently, the stretching room was updated in Phantom Manor. So there is a stretching room, and we were talking all the way back, if you can remember, in episode 1 about the Tingler, if you remember that.
Yeah.
The Tingler by Vincent Price. And he was actually the ghost host in Phantom Manor. Funny story, they never used his voice line for the original mansion, for the original Manor, I guess I should say. They never used Vincent Price's voiceover. They just had him record all the lines and dubbed over with some French guy. So you never heard Vincent Price talk. But they updated it the past couple of years, I think 2 or 3 years back. And it's Vincent Price is back. It's all Vincent Price doing the ghost host narration.
Boy, how fascinating is that? It's like, so the Americans got the spookiest dude they could to record the lines and then gave it to a French translator. And they're like, which leads me to believe that they just got a regular person to record the lines and they passed on to the French translator. And they're like, and we need you to make this spooky. And that just didn't translate for French people. They're just like, what? And so they just found some guy that sounded like the first guy. And they're like, no. It's like, no, we need to, how do we tell the French we need it spookier? And they're like, go get Vincent Price and pay him his fee to come in here and read this stuff.
Can we just get Vincent Price in here? He's recorded the lines.
That's awesome. So now is it like an English like French mix?
I believe, yeah. So it's like Madame Leota, where he'll say one line, and Vincent Price will say a line, and then Frenchman number 3 will say a line.
That's pretty rad.
Vincent Price. Yeah. It's super cool. It adds a bit more, I don't know, historical, like it feels more historic because Vincent Price is the horror guy.
Right.
And what better person to replace Paul Frees than Vincent Price? Like that's ideal.
Ideally, maybe someone who's still alive. That's also spooky, so that we can, like put cool new stuff in it occasionally.
Hey, man, with AI technology, we'll be able to make our own ghost host spiels any day here.
Right, yeah, deep fake ghost hosts.
Deep fake Paul Frees's voice I'd make him the Spaceship Earth narrator. I love that ride.
Oh my gosh, yes, that would be a great one for him to narrate.
Yep, he's got that voice. It'll lull you to sleep, and you'll be asleep by the Greek tragedy scene. And you'll wake up at the end when the screen in front of you turns on, blinds you because you've just been writing in the dark for the past 10 minutes. Right.
Maybe when you smell Rome burning.
Right. That knocks me out every time.
Does it? That's not you need to untrain your brain to fall. If your brain falls asleep,
I go right to bed.
You need to flip that around, bro. You need to wake up when you smell a house fire.
That's why I yell fire on Toon Street to Yellow Shoes, because I'm ready to go back and take a nap. In the middle of the day. I feel like we're at like a corporate like team building exercise, and we're trying to remember this damn sentence that we keep adding to. If we forget something, we'll just improvise.
I'm Angela, and I'm ecstatic. No, that doesn't start with an A. Angela will come back to you.
Angela, we're just going to circle around. So, the name Phantom Manor, in of itself, is very very unique to Paris because they couldn't call it the Phantom Manor or the Haunted Mansion because it wouldn't translate to multiple languages well. This was the only European park, still is the only European resort at the time. And so they needed a title for the ride that would translate easily into a bunch of different languages. English, French, German, that sort of thing. So Phantom Manor roughly translates and is spelled and is organized the same way in almost every language. So gotcha. Phantom Manor was the one they went to.
It was did the Phantom come first, or did like the name and then they decided to like kind of add a Phantom into the elements? Because the ride-throughs I've seen of it, I could do with or without the Phantom in terms of like right. The ride.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's a very, I mean, he's cool, but he's very much takes the background to Melanie the bride. Right. That's a question for Tony Baxter. I would probably, if I were to hazard a guess,
you have his phone number, don't you?
I have him on, so I can call him up right now if you want.
Let's just turn on the Tony Baxter spotlight.
Tony, we got a question about Paris again. You guys only ever call me to talk about Disneyland Paris.
Just it's Belly to summon him.
Yeah. There's a knock on your door.
Yep. It's Tony Baxter here with 3 tomatoes from Living with the Land.
Wow, I'm selling these on eBay for $100 a piece. I love that ride. I made a video about how that's the best ride ever made.
Yeah, and last time we had the greatest idea ever, which was to lazy river Living with the Land.
Yes, Living with the Land. Take the ride vehicles out and just give everyone a tube as they walk on.
Yeah, someone mentioned that like those waters like full of electricity and like eels and stuff.
Give them a rubber tube. It's a rubber tube.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just put me in a rubber one, and I'll wear like rubber socks or whatever you have to wear.
Right.
Like,
everyone knows that makes you completely immune to all voltages of electricity.
Rubber socks laying in a rubber tube.
Yeah. You can pick the fruits as you go by.
Right. I think that this is a great plan.
Yeah, seriously. So Phantom Manor, I would say the name probably came first.
Okay, yeah, I would assume so, right.
And the Phantom was just, they was like, it's called Phantom Manor. We should probably put a Phantom in here somewhere.
Right. And they chose to like bring a new Phantom like to Europe. Like, like, we're going to do our own Phantom. Forget the opera. This is the Manor.
Well, this is actually very heavily inspired by the Phantom of the Opera, too.
Oh, okay, good.
That's, very famous musical. Right, musical? Yeah. Opera.
I mean, it's been an opera in movies and books and stuff, too, yeah.
Right. So for Phantom Manor, Tony Baxter knew that they had this really cool untold story at the time with the bride in the attic of the American mansions. She wasn't Constance Hatchaway at this point. She was the Black Widow bride, white pinpoint eyes, very spooky, holding her candles.
Super spooky.
And Tony knew there was a story to tell there. So they evolved the bride into Melanie Ravenswood, and the ride became a story all about her. You would follow her all throughout, not just in the attic, although the attic is very important.
Right.
You follow her through her wedding day, all the years after, and as she aged into an old woman and eventually died and became a ghost.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are pieces of the old Haunted Mansion in there, like I mentioned, the stretching room. You have the doom buggies are the same. There's another reference that I'm going to talk about a little later, but the inverted busts are in the ride as well. I do not know if the guy trying to break out of the coffin is in there, but Leota's in there as well. The ballroom is very, 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 very similar to the American parks. The only difference is Melanie and the Phantom are standing up on the rafters, I believe.
Right. The ride kind of starts off feeling very typical Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
With a little bit of some light spins.
It's very, very Haunted Mansion until you get to the graveyard scene, or in this case, the Phantom Canyon scene.
Right. When you break out of the house, it is very different. It's a very different scene.
They really went crazy with the end of it because it's weird. In the American Mansion, the beginning is creepy and the ending is fun. For Phantom Manor, it's very much creepy the whole way through.
Yeah, it really is. Because you
like even the fun part,
like bones and like bones.
It's like convincing human skeletons leaping out at you from the walls of a cavern. Yeah.
Yeah, and even in like the Pirates ride, they only put like 3 skeletons in that ride. You know what I mean? This ride has like,
there's like 40.
Yeah,
that's a bit of an over
like a basketball team of worth of skeletons.
Yeah, skeletons playing basketball in the Matterhorn. I guess that'd be the only place.
Sports well enough to like think of a sports team that has a lot of people on it.
Right.
Basketball.
Lakers. That's a sport team.
The Magics, I think.
Oh yeah, because of Disney. I've always thought that was funny. Did you know that? The Orlando Magic. Disney World. What else would they be called? No. Everyone, that is how you break the brain of popular YouTuber Disney Dan.
No, that's not why. Does Disney own them?
I don't think they do. They used to own the Anaheim Ducks, of course, Mighty Ducks, but I don't think they ever owned the Magic. I'm looking this up right now. I need to figure this out. Okay. The name Magic alludes to the area's biggest tourist attraction and economic engine, Walt Disney World, along with its Magic Kingdom.
I just don't understand the logic of that. I don't understand the logic of we're going to move our basketball team to Florida, call them the Magics, because if there's one thing families love, it's basketball and Disney World.
Have you ever heard of a little something called The Bubble? The Wide World of Sports Complex, Dan? Disney loves basketball. The NBA experience, they took down all of Disney Quest to build this overpriced basketball court at Disney Springs.
Goes there, right?
Nobody goes there.
That's what I'm trying to say, is that there's not a huge crossover.
Probably not.
Even a basketball-shaped pool at World of Sports. All-Star Sports or whatever it's called.
That's the closest you get. Just at the All-Star Resorts.
Yeah.
They were founded in '89, which I believe is close to the year Hollywood Studios opened. I don't have that memorized. I don't have the year Hollywood Studios memorized.
Okay, so we get outside of the graveyard.
Right.
And it like essentially instead of like trees and crows, we get like sand and cactuses.
Sand and cactuses and undead. This is back to the original Haunted Mansion. There's only a couple zombies. Everyone's a zombie in this one.
Right.
In this graveyard.
Yeah,
There's not a whole lot of ghosts. Busted up saloons, and you can see, I believe, in the background, there's a gross, distorted, scary version of Thunder Mountain on the backdrop. And you can see in the background of Thunder Mountain the shadow of the Thunderbird that caused all of this to happen in the first. Well, I guess Henry Ravenswood caused all this to happen, but the Thunderbird who caused the earthquake.
Wow.
Behind Big Thunder Mountain. As I was alluding to, he's the one pulling the strings this whole time, the Thunderbird. Not Henry Ravenswood, not the Phantom, not Melanie. The Thunderbird.
The Thunderbird the entire time. Now, when you say that the Thunderbird is pulling the strings, are we saying that the Thunderbird is not just a vengeful god, but instead like a menacing, plotful, vengeful, intelligent?
I think it is intelligent. Why else would everybody be coming back as ghosts and zombies? Oh,
I see what you're saying. So, like, the bird is punishing us by punishing you by resurrecting you.
An immortal. You're making you drinking at the saloon until Judgment Day.
Like a zombie, yeah. Oh, I see. Ooh, interesting. So we're assuming that all the skeletons there of like all the people, all the spirits, and in that like outdoor graveyard scene are the ones that are the souls that the bird has taken the lives of.
The townspeople who died in the earthquake, or the souls the bird has taken.
Oh, right, because the town dropped into like the gulch, right?
Into the canyon, yeah.
The canyon. Oh man, that's interesting. That's fascinating.
What a story, right? Yeah. What a story they're telling here. It all ties back. And I guess canonically, this is another podcast for another day. Phantom Manor does tie in. It does exist in the same continuity as the other mansions because there are references to the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. in Phantom Manor, which connect to, Hightower. Hightower connects to Constance. One of her husbands was a Hightower. So I guess they do all exist within the same continuity.
I wonder if that WandaVision cameo everyone keeps talking about is just like it's like the Hatbox Ghost or something.
It's Albert Falls.
Yeah, right. It's a Haunted Mansion WandaVision multiverse of madness, because that's essentially what we're getting is this multiverse. We're getting this Haunted Mansion multiverse of all these different versions of like.
We didn't even know it. This whole time, the MCU has just been a giant lead up to the Haunted Mansion movie.
This is so incredible. And Adam Leonis is the Thanos.
Yes, Hatbox Ghost is all behind it.
Yeah.
You see, in the last episode of WandaVision, Vision's like, Wanda, I have to show you something. This is incredible. Look, they call it the biggest wonder of the world, the backside of water. O2H is what they call it.
Oh my god.
I
just watched Age of Ultron, man. It's worth a rewatch if you've been watching WandaVision.
It recommends it to me every time after I'm done watching WandaVision, and I think I'm going to watch it tonight.
I know, which is why I've got tired of it recommending it to me constantly. Like, are you trying to tell me something, Disney Plus?
Right, is something happening?
And when you rewatch it, you really do get a solid picture of how crazy Wanda is. Actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and this is now a WandaVision podcast.
Spooky Wanda.
We could. There's so much to talk about with that show. So the graveyard scene is very interesting, though, because there is a sort of ragtime version of Grim Grinning Ghosts playing throughout the whole ride, in fact. It's more of a cinematic take on Grim Grinning Ghosts, less of an atmospheric, it sounds like you're riding through a movie, more or less. Highly recommend looking up the
a great movie ride?
Very, I guess, it is sort of a great movie ride. But the graveyard scene, Dan, I think you'll be interested in this, is there is one character in the graveyard scene that is a combination of 3 very, very popular characters from the American parks. Okay, I'm going to give you one guess. They're very popular theme park exclusive characters from the American parks.
Is it the Country Bears?
Not Country Bears. It's from Haunted Mansion and Journey into Imagination. You know where I'm going with this? Oh, you're going to love this. So, the mayor of Thunder Mesa is voiced by Paul Frees. They use recycled Ghost Host lines. He says, welcome, foolish mortals. There's no turning back now, that sort of thing, as you ride past. He tips his hat, and his head comes off with his hat as you ride past, like the Hatbox Ghost. And the mold of his head is recycled from the Dreamfinder animatronic from Journey to Imagination.
Son of a bitch.
There you go.
Tony back.
And I'm talking to the Dreamfinder and Figment right now, but he's in there. That's the one place you can kind of still see the Dreamfinder.
Look how scared Figment looks right now.
Wait, his head comes off?
What did you say?
There's a whole part of your ride, Figment, where you talk about horror movies. Come on, you're used to this.
Right. You know what's up, buddy.
But yeah, isn't that crazy? 3 characters rolled into one.
That's wild.
Yeah, so Dreamfinder, Paul Frees, and Hatbox Ghost.
I'm gonna as soon as we're done recording this, I'm gonna spend the next half hour just deep diving into Phantom Manor POVs.
Right. You need to figure out just where the cast was taken. You need to find that cast, find the mold for his face, make your own Dreamfinder animatronic.
Are you familiar with the animatronicons? The live action, the live stage show down in Orlando was the Polar Bear, Dreamfinder, Abraham Lincoln.
No, what? I'm looking this up right now.
They did 1 and 2. It's absolutely hilarious. It would blow your mind. You have to watch it. It's done by a bunch of comedians at a fringe festival, and the guy Jeff Jones Comedy is the name of the comedian who wrote it, and he plays Dreamfinder in it. And he has a beautiful Dreamfinder costume. And he just recently took one of those Home Depot Santas. That's the animatronic Santas that does this. And he's it down and put his retired Dreamfinder costume on it. What? A red beard on it. You got to go to his Instagram. So now he's he's got a Dreamfinder Santa in his living room.
It seems like Here Comes Santa Claus.
Yes, it plays One Little Spark.
He made it play One Little Spark?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure he will.
Wow, dude. Now you're giving me ideas because that seems fun. I feel like that's something we could.
The show, the plot of the play is it's a play. It's a there's two act plays, comedies, and it's where the animatronics go after the parks close. It's like they're back to their condos to like hang out. And so Dreamfinder and Lincoln live together. And Polar Bear is the Maelstrom Polar Bear is their like weird neighbor, and it's hilarious. It's and the actors all are constantly. There's no fluid motions the entire time they're performing.
They jerk like the animatronics.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking at a picture of the cast right now. I need to watch this.
You will get a tickle out of it.
All right. So that is about it for Phantom Manor. I see we got a little bit more time to talk though. There's more I think we can talk about here. More recycled scenes.
Phantom Manor, because because we have done so like Disneyland sing-along songs. The Disneyland sing-along songs. I love it. There's Disneyland Fun, but then they did Disneyland Paris version of it. Which is essentially a lot of the same music. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Disney sing-along?
I do. I used to watch those. It was the best day in elementary school, and we walked into class and watched them. It was the best day.
That DVD that has it, if you go in and pick the French subtitles, it won't just play the same thing in French. It pivots to an entirely different movie that's shot at Euro Disneyland, and it features a whole Phantom Manor alternate version of the Grim Grinning Ghost. Like, usually,
are you messing with me right now?
It has the whole wedding scene in it, and
dude,
yeah, you've got to watch it. You've got to watch it.
Okay. So the animatronicans and Phantom Manor from the Disney sing-along.
I'm pretty sure on my YouTube channel I have a comparison of the two side by side, and
I'm gonna watch it.
You're gonna love it. But so I've always wondered who the bride. I always wondered who the bride was. And so in the attic first off, have you been to Paris?
2020 was going to be the year.
Was it?
It was not. It was not meant to be.
You know what's so funny? 2020 was. I've been saying for the past 3 years or so. 2020 was going to be the year I went to Tokyo Disneyland.
Mm-hmm. And that was supposed to be this year, but I don't see that happening now either.
No, but you know what? As soon as I can, I'm going to get over there.
I
think we just need to take a mass pilgrimage of vloggers.
Right. Nothing better than a group of vloggers walking into Tokyo Disneyland with their cameras out.
Right.
We should.
Right.
I don't even consider myself a vlogger, but I'd become one if I went to Tokyo.
We're not vloggers. We go there we just go there to enjoy.
I go there and I carry a notebook around and I write down stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I carry a notebook around too. It's my phone.
That's probably smarter.
I love how I'm the old man here, and you're the one using a piece of paper.
I got my sketch pad in my pocket. I'm drawing guests as they walk past. It's great.
You're like a moody teen
Yeah, I'm sitting on the steps of the Memento Mori gift shop with my art pad, sketching the mansion. Someone walks in my life.
From Gilmore Girls. You're just moody and just like lurking around, doodling.
I don't speak. I only scoff. I go. Ugh.
Right, you're like emo Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I'm giving people the finger guns because I think that's what cool kids do.
Do the cast members wear the same kind of like ghost manor attire, or are they like wearing like cowboy stuff?
They're dressed up in chaps. They got it's very, very similar. Different color scheme. It's purple and sort of like a gold red color.
Okay.
Is the Phantom Manor colors, but it's essentially the Haunted Mansion outfit. You can wear a top hat if you want to, but yeah, it's like it's purple and like sort of a gold color.
Now, when the Manor opened, was the Phantom animatronic throughout the whole thing?
I believe so. I don't think they added
times. He's in the ballroom scene. He's in he's just like and menacingly cackling the entire time.
That's all he does. That's all he does is he cackles, and I believe it's Vincent Price's laughter, which insinuates that Vincent Price, the ghost host, is the Phantom. He's Henry Ravenswood.
Oh.
I'm looking at this picture of Google right now, and it's cast members in Paris holding up happy, it's like 50th anniversary of the Haunted Mansion signs in front of Phantom Manor. I'm wondering if they know they're in the right spot, that they're in Paris.
I'm sure that was just the Paris team saying happy anniversary to you guys over there.
This is our ancestry.
Sisters.
Yes.
The Haunted Mansion is 50 years old?
It's actually 51.
Man, I hope it doesn't get COVID. I hear that's like the cutoff.
Yeah. So
you're 50. That's when you got to work.
It feels like forever ago. The last time I was on the Haunted Mansion was 2019 during the 50th anniversary celebration.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I bet there's some sweet Phantom Manor merch. And the building looks really cool. The building looks really cool.
I forgot to mention, is based off of a building in Nevada City, or what is it? Oklahoma. I think it's Oklahoma City, Nevada, something like that. It's a old
combined state of themes. This isn't Toon Street.
Toon Street. It's the 4th Ward School in Virginia City, Nevada. So many different city names here.
Virginia City, Nevada.
Yeah, it's like the guy who discovered it said, this is Virginia, right? Virginia City? And the people who are, the Native Americans were like,
no.
Can't understand you, man. Yeah. Perfect English. That's all they learned. That's all they knew how to say.
Leave, please. Could you please leave? This is our land.
Trying to raise my family, dude.
Yeah.
He says, you guys cool if I build a Phantom Manor down the street?
Yeah. We're going to animate a movie about you guys soon.
It's going to be great. Doesn't sound great. It's going to be great.
Don't worry. It's going to paint us in a really great picture at the end.
Oh, okay. So the 4th Ward School is what it sounds like. It's actually a school. And if you look this up, if you're seeing the visual aid right now on screen, it looks just like Phantom Manor, piece for piece, like the exact same house.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's funny how the first Disneyland mansion, it was like, yeah, that's kind of like, that whole, whatever plantation thing. Then the second one, based off of that Jim Thorpe house, really starts to pull the look, really pulls the look in a lot of ways.
Right.
The Phantom Manor, it's like a clone.
It's like a brick for brick, I guess, board for board remake of this.
The original one over there, for all we know.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't convince me otherwise, because it's funny. I was reading the Phantom Manor backstory, and they talk about how it's a whitewashed house with red shingled roofs. And you look at an old picture of the 4th Ward School, and it's a whitewashed school with red shingled roof. So I feel like it was very intentionally made to just be that building, just in Paris.
Right. And then the queue is just big overgrown gardens, right? Is there anything cool in the queue?
Here's a fun fact. So if you've ever been to Haunted Mansion Holiday, you hear the music box playing outside as you walk past, that sort of music box chime coming from outside the mansion in Anaheim.
Yeah.
That is actually a soundbite from Phantom Manor, and it's Melanie Ravenswood's music box from Phantom Manor that they just kind of moved over because it sounded vaguely like The Nightmare Before Christmas, I guess.
Oh, interesting.
So that sound is originally from Paris, but they just moved it over to Anaheim for the heck of it.
But is there any kind of fun any fun statues or the queues we have for Disneyland and Florida they've got all kinds of fun stuff in it.
Yeah, it's not really interactive. It does have the tombstones similar to the Haunted Mansion with different Imagineers.
Yeah, but in French.
Right. But not really anything interactive the way that Disney World has interactivity. It's very Twilight Zone-y. It's supposed to feel like you were it's frozen in this time period where it's building some sort of...
Now, where does Genie Feet come into... Because we're in France.
We are in France. That's a very French name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Genie Feet has got some pretty... That's as French as you can get. Does he have any influences here? Because Paris isn't very Pirates influenced, right?
I don't think he does. He definitely exists in this timeline because, like I said, the society is a thing very prominently here. But I don't think there are any references to pirates in this version of the mansion. There might be a couple things in the attic, there might be like a pirate and admiral uniform or something, but I don't know if there's anything that directly relating back to pirates in general, because it is, the Old West. And
as a Haunted Mansion fan, I really think that this going to Paris is worth the pilgrimage. I think for at least once to do it.
That's right? Exactly. That's I tell this to my friends all the time. That's the only reason. I mean, it's not the only reason, but it's the number one reason I would go to Paris.
Yeah, I think Phantom Manor would be the number 2 reason, because to see that castle, to see the square trees, I want to see square trees.
Very, very Sleeping Beauty. Very
right.
Yeah.
And we totally missed out on getting the whole Armageddon experience.
I'm still jealous about that.
I mean, come on. To feel like you were Bruce Willis.
Man, Mom, I want to go to Disneyland. We can go ride Phantom Manor and Pirates of the Caribbean. And my favorite, the Armageddon experience.
The Armageddon, the Bruce Willis experience.
All right, honey, we'll go meet Tinkerbell, and then we can go see Bruce Willis. Fast pass for Bruce Willis.
I really, and you know what I really love about the Phantom Manor is how they represent it in all the parades. Oh my gosh, they really love the Phantom Manor out there, and you know what? Good for them, because it really did make the Haunted Mansion. It allowed them for the Haunted Mansion to be their thing out there in a unique way. Really allowed them to be like, we have a Haunted Mansion that's ours, baby. It's not just a copy of with a different face. We put our own spin on it.
And that's why I think what makes Phantom Manor so unique. It's like Epcot. You can't get it anywhere else in the world, and it's theirs. It's their Haunted Mansion. It gives the park a sense of identity, for sure. Yeah,
right. So,
like Disneyland.
If anyone watching has been there, let us know your stories. Let us know, what kind of cool merchandise there was. I want to know. If you broke down on the ride, I want to know if it still takes them just as long to get people in wheelchairs on and off as it does in America. I want to know
if it's Vincent Price giving the safety spiel.
Right. Do they let you pour ashes all over that ride because it's France and they just don't care? You know what I mean? It's
right. Everyone's smoking all the time anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the way to get your ashes in the Haunted Mansion just smoke a cigarette full of your ashes?
I think we have something we need to test when we go to Paris.
Because they're always smoking everywhere they go, right? I mean, I didn't just make that up.
I think, I could be wrong here. I could be just talking on my butt here, but I think Paris is the only park in the world with smoking areas still.
Let's go.
I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that, though.
Let's get
some. If I'm wrong, let me know.
And we're going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, don't let me know. I want to figure this out for myself when we go.
Yeah. This was great. Did we cover all of Phantom Manor in an hour? This is incredible.
We did, and that's crazy to me, because we can cover all of Disneyland's Manor. I don't call it the Manor. All of Disneyland's Mansion in an hour, maybe a little bit longer. And Phantom Manor is just so unique. You can talk forever about it. There's some things that I just kind of skipped past. There's so many things. Yeah,
we're gonna dive into those things, and we're gonna circle back and talk about when they refurbish it, and when they we've got history. People, everyone is just how are you
so much
podcast about the Haunted Mansion? It's well, honey. And I know earlier
I no idea.
We probably only had about 7 hours worth of material if we didn't be silly, but let's be real. There's lots of stuff we can deep dive into.
I feel like we've recorded, this is episode 3. That's 3-ish hours of content. I feel like if we talk about everything we could talk about, we would probably be doing 4 or 5 hour episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And listen, if an electric vehicle can't drive that long, we're not going to do a podcast. Once electric vehicles can go to 4 or 5 hours at a time, then we'll record podcasts for 4 to 5 hours.
But they were going uphill. It's hard.
Oh yeah, I just watched a YouTube video that says that you can't drive an electric vehicle from Denver to Dallas yet.
Really?
They don't have enough charging stations. I just learned.
That's interesting. I'm thinking about getting a Tesla, but now I'm out. I'll send you the link. That's the one thing.
It was all about how, batteries and stuff. I'll send you the link.
Cool. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. All you foolish mortals and yellow shoes out there, thank you for watching.
Hurry back. Hurry
back.
back.
Oh, I'm going to leave them a teaser for this next episode. I mentioned it very briefly. Haunted Mansion Holiday. That's all I'm going to say. Tune in next time. Hurry back.
Can't wait.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.